Hey, sixth grade, I hope all is going well. Today for math, we're going to be doing a review of equations. So this is going to be page 251 and 252 in your book. So first it wants us to solve and check these equations. So we've been doing these this past couple days. The first thing we want to do is we want to try to get that variable, that letter, by itself. And whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So first thing, I know I can simplify this. 23 plus 7 is 30. So 6y equals 30. Well, now I divide both sides by 6. Divide by 6. Divide by 6. Y equals 5. So to solve that, or to check that rather, we would plug that in and see if it works. So 6, let me go ahead and circle that so we don't lose it. 6 times 5 equals 23 plus 7. Sorry, that's a bad 7. 23 plus 7 is 30. 6 times 5 is 30. 30 equals 30. So that is correct. Okay, B is going to be n over 3 equals 5 over 15. I know this looks like a fraction, but remember this fraction bar also means to divide. So 15 over 5, 15 divided by 5 is 3. So n over 3 equals 3. Now I have to times both sides by 3 to get rid of that. 3 there. So times 3 crosses out. Times 3. So n equals 3 times 3. So n equals 9. To see if that works, 9 over 3 equals 15 over 5. Well, 9 divided by 3, 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So n equals 9. That is correct. D, h minus 5 equals 32 over 8. Well, 32 divided by 8 is 4. So h minus 5 equals 4. So this is minus 5 right here, which means to get rid of that, I have to add 5 to both sides. So plus 5, h equals 4 plus 5 is 9. To see if that works, I would plug it in. Let me circle that so we don't lose it. 9 minus 5 equals 32 over 8. 32 over 8 is 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 equals 4. That is correct. E, x over 9 equals 2 plus 7. Well, 2 plus 7 is 9. So x over 9 equals 9. Well, to get rid of that 9, I have to multiply by 9. Crosses them out. Multiply that by 9. So that would be x equals 81. To see if that works, 81 over 9 equals 2 plus 7. 81 divided by 9 is 9. 2 plus 7 is 9. That is correct. Okay, number 2. It wants us to figure out what our height is. The area of a parallelogram is 56 feet squared. The base is 8 feet. What is the height? Well, I remember that my area formula is A equals base times height. So to figure out what that h is, I'll plug in those variables. 56 equals 8 times h. Well, if I've got it times 8 right here, then I divide by 8. So I divide both sides by 8. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. So 56 divided by 8 is 7. 7 equals 8. H, sorry. And since that was feet, we need to make sure we put our unit. H equals 7 feet. Number 3. On A, it is wanting us to do our order of operations from a few pages back. So first we look, there's no parentheses, there's no exponents. Then we look multiplication, division. We go from left to right. The first one I see is multiplication. This 3 times 4 equals 12. So 7 plus 12 divided by 6. Well, I look again left to right. I see some more division. 12 divided by 6 equals 2. Now I can move on to my addition. 7 plus 2 equals 9. Remember, the steps for that was PEMDAS. PEMDAS. Multiplication, division go together. Addition, subtraction go together. The mnemonic device for that was please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, C. We have 5 plus 1 1/2 squared. So we have our parentheses. We need to square what is in that parentheses. So that means 5 plus 1/2 times 1/2. Well, 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. So it'll be 5 plus 1/4. 5 plus 1/4 is 5 1/4. Okay, number 4 was one of those circle graph ones we've done. It is about Claire's coin collection. She has 15 Canadian coins, 10 Mexican coins, and 5 Brazilian coins. The first thing we need to do is add that up. 15, 10, 5. Carry my 1, 10, 20, 30. So she has 30 coins total. Well, if I am going to make those as fractions, my first one, my Canadian one, is going to be 15 over 30. My Mexican one is going to be 10 over 30. And my Brazilian one is going to be 5 over 30. All of those can be simplified. 15 over 30 can be simplified into 1/2. 10 over 30 is 1/3. And 5 over 30 is 1/6. Now we have to figure out how many degrees each of these angles is going to be. So what I do is I'm going to multiply each of these fractions by 360. So 1/2 times 360 over 1. I can simplify that. 2 goes into both of those. So make that 1. And half of 360, if I am dividing, it's going to be, I know 36 divided by 2 is 18. So this is going to be 180 over 1, or just 180. So it's going to be 180 degrees. My Mexican coins account for 1/3. 1/3 times 360 over 1. Those can be simplified. 3 goes into both of those, goes into that 1. It goes into that, 120. It's going to be 120 degrees. Okay, 1/6 times 360 over 1. 6 goes into both of those, 1 and 60. So that's going to be 60 degrees. So then I get out my protractor. I'm going to go ahead and do my straight line for my vertex to start out an angle. I'm going to do my smallest angles first. It is easier that way. So 60 Brazilian. Let me line up my center of my protractor with my vertex dot, like so. There we go. 60 degrees would get me right here. So I'm going to turn my protractor. Okay, so that is Brazilian. And that was 1/6. If I'm doing percentages, I would put my percent there. 1/3 is 33%, so that's going to be about 17 and a half, 16 2/3, sorry. 16 2/3% there. Okay, so now my next one is 120 degrees for my Mexican coin. I have my first line here. I'm going to keep using that line. So line up my vertex again with my center dot on my protractor. There we go. And I'm gonna go to 120. 120 is gonna get me to about right there. So 120 is my Mexican coins, and that was 1/3, which is 33 1/3%. And then my Canadian coins were 180 degrees. If we remember, 180 degrees is half of a circle. So we don't even have to measure that. And since it was 1/2, that is going to be 50%. Okay, so your coin graph should look like that. I should be able to see where you figured out what your degrees were. Okay, number 8, we have a long division problem, which I know you guys hate, but we need to get more practice on these. So we have 0.978 into 443,034. If I move my decimal here, 1, 2, 3, I need to move it over here, 1, 2, 3. So my decimal now goes right there. Okay, I have 978 into 443. I can't do that. That is 0 point something. It can go into 4,430 though. I know that 978 is almost 1,000. So if I'm estimating how many times 1,000 goes into 4,430, that's going to be about 4. So I'm going to come over, 978 times 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 7 is 28, 29, 30, 31. 4 times 9 is 36, 37, 38, 39. So 3, 9, 1, 2, subtract. I have to borrow from that 3, make that a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 2 minus 1 is 1. I have to borrow, make that a 3, make that a 14. 14 minus 9 is 5. 3 minus 3 is 0. Bring down my 3. Once again, 978 is about 1,000, so I'm going to estimate that it'll go into 5,183 5 times. So, since I already have how many it is times 4, I'm just going to add 978 to it. 10, 7, 8, 9, 18, 4. And I forgot to put my 4 here earlier. Whoops. 4,890 is smaller than that, so the 5 was correct. 4,890. Subtract 3. I have to borrow, make that a 0. Got an 18. 9. Can't take anything from 0. Got to borrow again. 4. Make that a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. Okay. Now I need to bring down my 4. I know that 2,900 is almost 3,000. So I'm going to estimate that it goes into it 3 times. So 978 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 7 is 21, 22, 23. 3 times 9 is 27, 28, 29. 2934, 2934. My answer is 0.453. Okay, D, 1/3 to the 3rd power. Well, that means 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3. 1/3 times 1/3. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 9 times 1/3. 1 times 1 is 1. 9 times 3 is 27. So it is 1/27. F, 1 1/2% of 5,000. So 1 1/2, just as a decimal, would be 1.5. But what we keep forgetting to do is to move that decimal point over 2 because this is a percent. So 1, 2 become 0.015. We then multiply that. 5,000 times 0.015. Well, 5 times 0, 0, 0, 0, 25. Bring down my first 0. 1 times 0, 0, 0, 0, 5. 2 zeros now. 0, 0, 0. 0 times 5 is 0. Now, super easy to add up. 0, 0, 0, 5, 7, 0. Well, we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1.5% of 5,000 is 75. Well, I hope all of this is starting to make sense, all of these equations. Just remember that whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. You're trying to get that letter, that variable by itself. If you have any questions, please let me know, either on Jupyter or on Zoom. Stay safe. I'll see you soon.